Hello and welcome back, or just welcome if this is your first time here. I am your host, the Strange Connector, and today we're diving into Viceversa sketchbooks. But first, a tiny disclaimer. I am not affiliated with Viceversa, despite having made lots of videos about them, and I bought everything you see in this video with my own money, so all opinions are my own. And also, please keep in mind, I am just an enthusiast when it comes to painting and drawing, not a professional. So take any advice as what it is, the advice of an enthusiast, and my opinion. Remember this beauty? I do. So this video is a follow-up to the very first video on my channel where I shared how I found this sketchbook in an art shop in Venice. That led me to discover Viceversa, the company behind it. I tested the paper in this sketchbook and was blown away because it handled everything I threw at it and I just fell in love with it. This video also ties into my last two videos, which I linked in the description, where I tested Viceversa's handmade cotton paper. So you might want to watch those first, because I won't be testing some things because I've already tested them in those two videos. So if you wonder why I'm not testing some of the sketchbooks, maybe you watch those videos and then you'll know. Or you can just dive right in. Totally up to you. Now then. After testing that first 140 GSM cotton sketchbook, I got really curious and I wanted to know what the other sketchbooks in Viceversa's website were like, but I found the descriptions a bit vague. Some sounded like they used a mix of cotton and cellulose, but it wasn't clear whether that referred to the cover, because the cover is also handmade paper, or whether it referred to the paper inside the sketchbooks. Since Viceversa only sells one type of 140 GSM handmade loose paper, and it is 100% cotton on their website, I naturally assumed it must be the same as the one in my first sketchbook, just maybe in different tints. Well, it wasn't. So when the new sketchbooks that I ordered arrived, the paper was completely different. It had a lovely warm ivory tint and felt very, very similar to the much pricier Fabriano Vergatone sketchbooks in appearance and to the touch. But that raised a question, because Fabriano's Vergatone is cotton cellulose, it's a blend, and Viceversa's 140 GSM handmade paper is meant to be 100% cotton, but appeared very, very similar. And why was the paper in my original store-bought sketchbook, which was definitely 100% cotton, so different from both? So, naturally, I ordered some of Viceversa's loose sheets, both 140 GSM and 300 GSM this time, to compare. So I placed another order just to find out what was going on. And guess what? The 140 GSM paper in my first sketchbook still didn't match the 140 GSM loose paper. Then, luckily for me, came a glorious 40% off sale after Christmas, sometime in Jan. And because I'm a ridiculous human being, I went all in. I ordered a bunch of sketchbooks across different paper weights to get to the bottom of things. And that is how I ended up with this. Please don't laugh, please. This was my for science moment. I did it so you don't have to. As I always say, don't do what I do. That said, I'm actually thrilled with these sketchbooks. I love handmade paper and I use it with all sorts of media, so the risk of sizing degradation over time doesn't bother me too much, and I also have a stash of Holbein sizing liquid, should I really need it, but I just end up using them for other things. But if you're using these strictly for watercolour, I would not recommend hoarding them because, in case you're not aware, the sizing in watercolour paper will break down over time. So from this new batch of sketchbooks that I bought to investigate, the 300 GSM sketchbooks were super consistent, exactly the same paper as the 100% cotton loose cold press sheets. So it was the Cool Press 300 GSM 100% cotton handmade paper. But the 140 GSM ones were all over the place. Some had the ultra smooth, brilliant white paper from my original sketchbook. So from my very, very first video on this channel, which great because I loved that paper. Some looked more like the Fabriano Vergatone paper. And then when I tested them, a few behaved completely differently. So after some back and forth emailing Viceversa and a lot of testing, which you'll see in this video and in part 1, linked up in the corner and in the description, I finally figured it out. And now I've got the magic formula for ordering from Viceversa to share. So this is the general rule for Viceversa sketchbooks, which is the 300 GSM paper sketchbooks always have the 100% cotton handmade paper in them, which is the same as the 300 GSM loose sheets. So all of them are consistent. The 140 GSM paper sketchbooks, on the other hand, always, as a general rule, have 70% cotton and 30% cellulose mixed paper, which is very similar to the Fabriano Vergatone paper. However, and this is where it got confusing for me, occasionally, when ordering 140 GSM mixed cotton cellulose sketchbooks, you may accidentally receive 140 GSM 100% cotton sketchbooks at the same price. So it's like an accidental upgrade. And this paper is smoother and whiter than the typical 140 GSM in the Viceversa sketchbooks that are available online, and is usually sold only in stores, as it is made to order for retailers. It also has a different texture and colour from the 140 GSM 100% cotton loose sheets. So this is what had initially really confused me, as I received both types of paper in my sketchbooks. In my 140 GSM sketchbooks. And also it was different from the loose sheets, so I just got really confused. First up, we have more of these beauties. These are the hand-bound sketchbooks with a relief cover. They are like the first sketchbook I bought in the shop, but keep in mind that the paper is different. So you will get the ivory paper if you buy the 140 GSM, and it will be a mix. Whereas if you buy the 300 GSM paper, it will be 100% cotton, like the loose sheets. And you can order these in a variety of sizes, and the prices differ depending on whether they've got cotton paper or not. These two beauties, they're from the same type of sketchbook as this one, but they were meant to have mixed cotton cellulose paper, and instead I got the cotton paper. And you can see from my order that it clearly says ivory. And this is what ivory paper looks like, and this is not the ivory paper. Here you can see I'm comparing them with the purple sketchbook, and they look exactly the same. It's the same paper, exactly the same paper. And I even did a quick test on one of the sketchbooks, and it's definitely the same paper as the one that I bought in store. So, I mean, great for me, but maybe not so great for Viceversa. But anyway, yeah, so you can see the beautiful embossed covers. So no matter what type of paper you order or of this type of sketchbook, you will have this beautiful embossed cover that's also handmade. So they're hand-bound with thread binding. They have handmade paper inside with where it says uncut edges. I think they mean torn edges or deckled edges. And the cover is made of pine cellulose with embossed images of various subjects. So if you want to find more about these, you can see my first video on this channel. And the stitching will all be the same. So you can see it's stitched, and then it's got this paper cover. It's like an inner cover, and then it's glued onto the embossed cover, which is very thick and sturdy. And also, depending on the sketchbook size, the available embossed designs will be different, so you get more choices. So the ones that I'm showing you are the ones that have that special paper in them that was sent to me by accident. Maybe because I was buying these items in the sale. But Viceversa told me that this doesn't usually happen because you can only buy these in shop because they're made to order. But I got 3. So you'll see there's another one of these, like a different book that has the same paper. So I got both the mix, the cotton cellulose mix, and 100% cotton 140 GSM ones, which is kind of great because I get to show you what all of the paper that Viceversa make is like, even the one that you can only buy in shops. But in this video, I will be doing tests only on the 140 GSM sketchbook paper. That is the ivory one that's mixed cellulose, because I've tested all the other types of paper in my previous videos. So if you want to see what the 300 GSM paper is like, you can look at my Viceversa paper video, and it's the same as a loose sheets paper. And if you want to see what the special paper, the one that's only sold in shops, is like, that would be the very first video I ever did on this channel. So here I will only be testing the paper type that I have not tested yet, which is the 140 GSM sketchbook paper that is a mix of cotton and cellulose. Next, we have this little beauty, which sadly doesn't appear to be available to buy anymore from the website. And I don't know if it's because it's been discontinued or because it's just sold out, because they did recently have a 50% sale. It's got this beautiful handmade stitching. I think it's Japanese. They say it's Japanese stitching. And the cover feels really soft. It feels like the hot press paper. It's got this soft kind of like silky cottony feel. And it feels really sturdy. It's really beautifully made. And the paper, once again, is the 100% cotton 140 GSM paper that is not meant to be available if you buy from their website. That is only meant to be available in shop. But once again, I got lucky and I got this paper. And yeah, what else? Yeah, this sketchbook might not be the best if you're painting and drawing, because it doesn't open fully. It's just how the model is. So I don't know if you can see. So you might find that annoying if you're painting, especially. And that might be why they discontinued it. But I got this for €10, and that's before the 40% off. So I don't know how much I actually paid for this, like €6. It's ridiculously cheap. Next is the handbound sketchbook with coloured stiff cover. Inside, handmade paper, 140 GSM or 300 GSM, fine grain, uncut edges, ideal for artists. Yeah, and this is the first one where the 140 GSM paper was actually the paper I was supposed to get. So it's a mixed cotton cellulose paper, 70% cotton, 30% cellulose, and it's an ivory colour. And I will show you what this paper is like in my testing. So the sketchbook feels really sturdily made again. The cover's got that really nice, soft, fluffy feel again. It almost feels like fabric, but it's not. So you can tell it's got very high cotton content. Yeah, it's just really pretty. The ivory tint is really, like, it's so creamy. It's beautiful, and the edges are gorgeous. And if I compare it to the Vergatone paper, you can see it's very, very similar paper. And the Fabriano Vergatone is much, much more expensive. So that teeny tiny booklet that I showed you is 2.5 times more expensive than this one that I'm showing you now from Viceversa. And it's basically the same paper. So yeah, this is why I really like Viceversa. Next up is this cool little thing, and I'll show you why it's cool. So it's the handbound sketchbook, rough textured, coloured cover and coloured interior. God, that's a mouthful. 15 by 20, but it's also available in a different size. And it's cool because, as you can see now, you can select what colour you want the paper inside to be. Got all of these colours, and you can also choose what colour the cover is, which is quite fun. But as you can see in the description, this is where it gets confusing. It says 50% cotton fibre and 50% cellulose, and that they're actually talking about the cover, just so you know. The inside paper is the 70% cotton, 30% cellulose mix. That feels like the Vergatone paper. But you get all of these fine tints. And again, it's handmade. It's got these nice rough edges. And yeah, it feels very sturdy. I skipped the first page here because I've already done the testing, so we're kind of like going back in time. Let's pretend that I haven't, that this is a fresh sketchbook that I haven't touched yet, and that we don't know what it's going to behave like, but I have already tested on this, and it's very good mixed media paper, fantastic. So it's a good everyday sketchbook. And yeah, here you can see the texture, and you can see the edges. They're really pretty. Some of them are deckled and some of them are torn, and they tear so nicely. You can't tell the difference sometimes. Yeah, and it's you can see it's all handmade. The cover is handmade. And yeah, and I got the blue cover with a yellow paper inside. And just to compare again, it's pretty much the same thing as the Vergatone paper from Fabriano, which is kind of to be expected since they use similar methods. I mean, they're from the same town. Next up is this gorgeous thing as well, which is the handbound sketchbook with floral and lavender cover. And this one has 100% cotton paper, the 300 GSM paper inside it, because that's the one that I chose. And if you see in this description, interestingly, for the 140 GSM, they put that it's 70% cotton and 30% cellulose. So sometimes it's in the description and sometimes it isn't. The cover is 100% cotton on this, but because it's handmade and they've pressed in these flowers, sometimes if the flowers were at the surface of the paper, it's not quite sealed in, so they might come off. That's the only thing that I found about this that can be a bit annoying. Whereas the stuff that's inside the surface is sealed in. So you might want to varnish it or something, but I wouldn't really want to varnish it because I wouldn't want to take away from this lovely kind of silky texture of the paper, the cotton paper. So it's incredibly sturdily made. It looks fabulous. You wouldn't know this is hand-stitched. Except for, like the little imperfections, you can see that it's handmade. It's exactly the same paper as the 100% cotton 300 GSM handmade paper. So, and it's got that cold press texture. And I found the 300 GSM books to be very consistent. And here is another one. So it's a different type of book, again with 300 GSM paper. Well, this is the bio cover book, and it's got hand-picked vegetable fibers, Lucerne straw bran at, I have no idea what that means, kilometer zero, I don't know. The binding, it's all handmade paper, and then you can get it 140 GSM, which is the mixed paper, or 100% cotton. And where it says 50% cellulose, again, 50% cotton, I think they mean the cover because they've confirmed that the 140 GSM paper is always the 70%, 30% one. So you can see the paper is the same as the 100% cotton 300 GSM paper. It's got beautiful deckled edges or torn edges. And it's embossed with the Viceversa logo. And here, I want to show you this though, because this, out of all the books that I ordered, this is the only one that came with a defect. The cover came unglued here, the inner cover, so it's fine. The stitching is all fine. And I wonder if this was a shipping issue, so maybe it got thrown about in shipping. But yeah, I just wanted to show you. So, this can happen. I don't think it's a problem for me, especially since I got this on sale for very, very little money. And yeah, and I was expecting stuff to have defects, but it may be a problem for you, but I don't think it's a problem. And I haven't complained. I haven't asked for anything because I think I'm getting such a good deal. I don't care. But personally, I found Viceversa super responsive if you have any questions or issues. So yeah, if you have issues and you contact them, they probably would deal with it. Keep in mind that I placed an international order, so the stuff got sent through several countries' postal systems to get to me. So it must have been thrown around quite a lot. So I'm impressed that none of the other sketchbooks got damaged. So they did wrap them up quite well. Yeah, and here you can see that beautiful cover with the grains in it. These are quite fun, actually. They're spiral-bound sketchbooks and they're limited edition. I don't know what that means. And currently they're on sale. So if you want one of these, get in quick because they also sell them as 100% cotton. And yeah, if you get the 300 GSM paper, I didn't. I got the 140 GSM because it was at the stage where I was still investigating the 140 GSM, and I'm kind of kicking myself because I wish I'd got them with the 300 GSM paper. So these come in a variety of sizes and the prices can vary quite a lot. And I think it's due to the fact that some are the cheaper paper and some have only the 300 GSM paper. So keep that in mind. So it's got a beautiful logo in it. It's got these deckled edges on two sides, and then on two sides it's kind of cut. And yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm showing that paper. Yeah, so this is that 140 GSM paper. It's the same texture as that kind of vergatone-like paper. What's good about the ring binding is that you can open it fully and lay it flat. And it's also got a hard back. So if you're out and about, kind of urban sketching, this might be quite good for you. I mean, it's got this ring binding instead of the handmade stitching, but the covers are still handmade. They've got that lovely soft cottony feel to them. So here I'm testing the cotton cellulose mix paper. And I chose to test it just for funsies in the yellow tinted sketchbook. Yeah, and immediately it feels really different. So I decided to test on some rubbish Amazon 100% cotton, supposedly paper, just to see how that would behave. And that behaved differently. Yeah, so I could tell, yeah, it's definitely a mix. And it feels like hard-sized. Right, okay, here I'm testing on the 100% cotton, 140 GSM paper as comparison to see what that was like. And it feels different, definitely feels different. So the one on the right is the cotton paper, fully cotton paper, and the one on the left is a cotton cellulose mix. I mean, I guess the result doesn't look that different because I'm rubbish. I'm rubbish at it, but the way it feels is very different. So when I'm painting, like swatching on this paper, on the yellow paper, which is a mix, it feels almost like the paint doesn't penetrate quite as much. So it almost feels like it's harder sized and slightly rougher in texture. I don't know, I can't really explain it. So here I tested again on cotton paper, but tinted cotton paper. And again, it felt different. So it's definitely, like they said, it's 30% cellulose, 70% cotton. So yeah, it looks all right, but it feels different. And here I'm trying the special paper. This is one of the two sketchbooks that I got sent with a special paper by mistake. And again, totally different. Different from this one and different from the yellow paper. So they're all different papers. All excellent in different ways, but you might want to use them for particular media. So this one, the special paper, this one can take anything. It's amazing. I love it. Love it so, so much. I want to marry it, basically. Whereas this one feels like when you put watercolor on it. So here I have no idea what I was doing. I was doing something. But when you put watercolor on it, it feels almost like it sits on there and it doesn't go in. And then all of a sudden it just kind of goes in. So it's both, it doesn't penetrate the paper and it penetrates it immediately. It's weird. It both dries pretty quickly and sits, if that's possible. And it feels kind of like the texture is, it's the same texture as the loose cotton sheets, but it kind of feels like when you touch it, it feels less soft, which I guess, you know, like it's got less cotton, so. But as you can see, I mean, the results aren't bad at all. It just feels different and handles differently. Yeah, and I'm kind of rubbish, so you can probably not tell what is going on at all. I hope you can, but have no fear. I will do a teeny tiny quick painting in this sketchbook as well at the end, just to give you maybe a bit more of an idea. But yeah, if you trust me, don't trust me. They feel very, very different. It's obvious that the one on the right is cotton, like Viceversa told me. It's 100% cotton. And this one is also 100% cotton, one in the red book. And this one is not. It's a mixture. So here I decided to try some mixed media. And first up, I tried the Ecoline and I was kind of blown away, to be honest. I think I found the perfect sketchbook for the Ecoline. I'm so excited. As if you've watched my other videos, I bought a whole bunch of Ecoline this year and I'm trying to find somewhere to use them in. And I've just decided this is now my Ecoline sketchbook. It doesn't peel. You can put tons and tons and tons of like ink straight from the pen. Look how many layers I'm putting down. Look how many. Does not peel at all. Does not go through. Amazing. So here I'm dry brushing with the Pentel pen and then putting some water in and trying to put lots and lots and lots of ink to see if it goes through, because usually it will go through. And yes, I'm trying to put lots and lots and lots and lots, and it doesn't go through. So here I'm doing the same. I'm dry brushing with the Pentel, what's it called? The color brush. I can't remember what's it called. I get them all mixed up. This is the water-soluble ink. And yeah, and this works fantastic on here as well. So I thought, I'm going to give the Tombow a go and see what that does. And that also melts fantastically. And then I tried the Neocolor too. And look at that. Wow. It's great. It's really, really, really good for pastel-y kind of mediums. It felt almost like I was using oil pastels, but these are Neocolor, keep in mind, so they're quite hard, even though they're Neocolor too. And then when I tried them with water, they looked really gorgeous. Look at that. So I was really impressed with the Neocolor, so I thought I'd try with the alcohol marker, just to be silly. And yeah, and it takes the alcohol marker really nicely. I mean, I wouldn't advise it for alcohol markers because, one, it does have a texture, so you might use up your nibs a bit quicker than smoother paper. But also because having cotton in it, it just sucks the ink right out. But some people like using alcohol markers on cotton paper, and they work beautifully on here, but not as beautifully as the oil pastel does. Again, I was blown away with how nicely the oil pastel took to this paper and how vibrant it looked on it. So definitely really good for oil pastels as well. And yeah, all water-soluble media, the Ecoline, are fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Pencil goes down fine on it as well. And again, unlike on the special paper that you can only buy in shops, that is 100% cotton, on this one you have a bit of a tooth. So you'd have to either use a really, really soft pencil like Prismacolor, or spend a bit more time filling in the tooth of the paper. And then please note that this went through to the other side because, like I said, it's an alcohol blender. So alcohol markers and alcohol blenders will go through the paper. So you need to put a sheet of plastic, like I did. And here I'm using the Caran d'Ache blender and doing a terrible job of it, but I just wanted to try it. And the graphite looks fine on it as well. So if you spent a bit of time, you could do a good job with pencil. And with watercolor pencil, it's great. Great paper for watercolor pencil. So here I'm using Prismacolor, and for some reason I decided to blend it with my finger, kind of doing a bit of a botch job. And yeah, and I'm putting down some of these tempera sticks, and because it's sped up, it looks like comedy. Look at my finger go. Whee! Anyway, yeah, fine for the tempera sticks, fine for the pencils, fine for all the water-soluble media, fine for the oil pastels, and I also put acrylic pen down. Yeah, great. Great all-rounder. Oh, this is where things get really fun. So I decided to do a quick test painting. So I did what I did last time, just for continuity or something. I don't know, just because I felt like it. So I took the head of a statue from a copyright-free photograph and I sketched it in pencil. So you get a drawing in dry media on the left, and then I did a quick painting on the right. So here I am using a Palomino Blackwing pencil, which is the 604, I think, which is the one that's meant for writing, but I like it for drawing. I prefer it to the other pencils because I find the other pencils a bit too soft. And I'm just quickly sketching in this statue. I'm just kind of eyeballing measurements. I don't care. I don't care doing an actual likeness. It's boring. No, I mean, I just want to kind of like do a more loose drawing. I'm not too fussed. I did, however, do a lot of adjustment because this statue had a very, very strong chin for some reason. It might have been the angle of the photograph, but she had an enormous chin. Um, so yeah, so I kept having to adjust things because my brain was just going, no, she can't possibly have such a big chin. And yes, and she does have a big chin. But wait until you see my painting. So I don't want to spoil the surprise. My painting was something. So the drawing is kind of a likeness of the statue. So she does have a big chin, a big strong chin. It's a Greek statue. They like their chins, Greek statues. And I don't know what else to tell you now. I'm just kind of rambling. Yep, I'm just still drawing. Still, my hand is still moving really, really fast. Oh, here I turned it around, which is something I like to do to, I don't know if you know this, but if you turn it around, you can make some quick adjustments because it tricks your brain into seeing what you're drawing as something different, not as a human face. So you kind of bypass your brain wanting to fix things for you. So I like to do that sometimes when I'm kind of eyeballing things, when I'm not really measuring, and when I'm not drawing from life. You can do this if you're drawing from a photograph and if it's a small piece of paper. You can't do it if you're drawing on a wall or drawing from life because you can't turn your paper. Well, you'd have to turn the person upside down. If you're drawing a person on an upside down piece of paper, or you'd have to wear glasses that make you see, you know, those glasses that make you see things upside down. They're pretty cool. Yeah, I'm rambling, aren't I? So now I've turned it back the right way around. No, I've turned it upside down again. Okay, ignore me. But here it's because I'm doing the background. I'm doing a background. There is no background to the photo. I'm just kind of adding this in for contrast. And for some reason, I did that upside down. And then I decided to erase the background. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, so that was meant to just be a quick sketch, just to see the pencil on the paper. And as you can see, it looks good. Yeah, it was fun. I really enjoyed that. And then I decided to put some, I think it's is it Queen Magenta from Daniel Smith on top, just to seal it in. I kind of like the look of it with watercolor on top, like a drawing. But it's also to seal it in a bit instead of using fixative so that it's not going to smudge as much because it's very soft graphite, so it's not going to smudge on the other side. And I'm using a silver black velvet brush, I think a size 10 brush. So that's it. And as you can see, the paper buckled, but as you'll see in a minute, it dried completely flat. Look at that. So I was impressed with that because I hadn't even taped it. I hadn't done anything to it to keep it down. But on the right hand side, because I was going to wet the paper substantially, I decided to clip it down. So here I'm wetting it with lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of water. And on the left hand side, I've got, I think it was Phthalo Blue and Queen Magenta from my Daniel Smith split primary set. And I'm wetting it and wetting it and wetting it. And some areas feel quite wet and some areas do that thing that where the paint just gets sucked in really quickly. So I can tell this is not the same as the 100% cotton paper, for sure. So, I forgot to mention, so this is where the fun happened. I decided, just for kicks, I decided what would happen if I did a whole painting upside down. Yeah, and you'll see what happens. And this is the reason why I am not turning it the right side up for you, because I want you to be as surprised as I was. Yeah, so I decided to, for the first time, to experiment with doing this because I was bored and I just wanted to try something. Oh, and also keep in mind, the painting that I'm doing, I'm not basing it on the drawing on the right-hand side, so I wasn't looking at that at all. I was looking at the reference image. And if I'd looked at the drawing on the right-hand side, things probably would have been a bit better. But instead I was looking at the reference image, which was on a screen behind my lighting and my camera. And yeah. Anyway, so I kept going upside down and putting in the phthalo blue. And the reason I chose the phthalo blue is because it's staining. So the problem that I had the last time I tried doing this in the other sketchbook is that I think I used a ultramarine, and then when I put the next layer on top, it reactivated and it got muddy. So this time I decided to go with phthalo. And as you can see, the page is drying quite quickly. Yeah, so the paint is not kind of spreading out as much as I would have expected it to. But that's fine. So I'm just kind of like trying to get to know the paper and see how it behaves. But it's different to what I'm used to, because I don't usually use mixed fibre paper like that. But it's fine. Yeah, so I'm still basically sketching with paint. That's what this is, really. It's drawing more than painting. But I'm using paint, which is what you want to know, and I've wet the paper thoroughly before, so it's wet in wet, supposedly. But you can see how quickly it's kind of sucking in the water. Like here I'm putting some quite concentrated paint, and it's not moving all that much. And I had wet the paper completely. And also, I put some plastic underneath it, so the water has not been sucked in by the sheets underneath, but it seems to kind of have disappeared from the surface. So it's definitely different paper. Yeah, so I'm kind of like trying to correct a bit, but I can't correct all that much because it's phthalo, so it doesn't really lift. And I'm kind of like trying to do my best to not make it terrible. Yeah, I mean, you'll see in a minute. Well, yeah, it's fantastic. It's the best painting I've ever done in my entire life. Yep. Look. God. Oh my God. It gets better every time I see it. So basically, her strong chin became 50 strong chins. So all her features are like squished to the top, and 90% of her face is chin. So if you're thinking of ever doing a painting, like a full painting upside down, here's your advice. Don't. It's not worth unless you want to. Yeah, I mean, it's fun. It was fun. It was entertaining. It still is entertaining. Anyway, and because it was phthalo, I couldn't really lift it, so I just kept going. I pretended that this didn't happen, and yeah, and I just kept going, and I pretended that she's just got a mega chin, and really, really squished together, like the rest of the face. All the features have migrated towards like the top of her head, and are really small for the size of her face. Okay, let's pretend that this didn't happen. Yep, still testing the paper. And I'm going to try and not laugh. Look at her teeny tiny lips compared to her ginormous chin. Yeah. So, yeah, ginormous chin. I didn't even attempt to correct it. I just kind of like, I decided that's it. I'm just going to fully commit to it. And yeah, I might redo this or paint over it or do something to it, or I might just leave it just as a testament to my, I don't know what, yeah, let's call it experimentalism. To my experimentalism, I'm being it's not rubbish, it's experimental, as a friend of mine would say. Yeah. So, yeah, I was being very experimenting with chin proportions. Yep, that's what I was doing, totally, yep, deliberate. It's a deconstruction of the chin, well, it should be a reconstruction of the chin, really. So, yeah, I mean, is it that bad? Yes, it is that bad. It is really bad. Yeah, in my defense, that statue did have a very strong chin, but not quite that strong a chin. Yeah, so I kept going undeterred, because I was committed at that point. And yeah, stop fiddling with the chain. You're not going to be able to change it. The paper has dried. As you can see, the paper dried up really quickly. And it's weird because it feels both wet and dry at the same time. It behaves like it's wet paper. You can see that it's wet. It's all buckled. But the paint doesn't move at all. So if this was cotton paper and it was like that level of wet, the paint would move quite a lot, especially if you put quite concentrated paint on it. It would spread out quite a lot. Yeah, and it's not really moving that much. And here I was trying to wet it. I think I was trying to shade that area a bit to make the chin smaller. Oh my god. Just give it up. Just give it up. Give up. You can't fix this. There's no fixing it. Okay, I think, yeah, here it was dry. And I decided to add a background so that then I can use the fact that the paper is yellow to kind of have 3 colours. Again, it's more of a drawing than a painting. So I added this Queen Magenta background. Again, just straight from the palette. And I left a strong chin, the bold chin statement or something. And then I just give up, basically. So I'm drying it. It's just a test. And here you can see, again, so I'm just recapping, saying that the oil pastel looks really good. The watercolor paint does feel different on here. So, I mean, it is very, very good mixed media paper. Very, very good. It takes anything you throw at it. But keep in mind, for watercolors, it's a mix. So it won't behave like 100% cotton paper. It will throw you if you're not used to it. But if you're a mixed media artist, I think it's really, really great paper. Not as good as the paper that I bought in the shop, though. That's it. That's it from me. I have been your host, The Strange Connector, and I hope I have not bored you to death, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.